You know, if you're working on a paper, you have little notifications on your laptop. It's like, ding, you got an email. It's like, ooh, let me see what I got. You know? It's like now your attention's been diverted. You know how long it takes you to come back? Fully come back? Way longer than you want it. So you need to turn off all your notifications. Because any little one, and that goes for the phone too, is going to. So that's why I make my PowerPoints very distraction-free. And I'll, you know, say it. I'm not a fan of them, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them. But I do do them for everyone, and they really do sit closely to the book, which I'm sure you should appreciate. So that being said, the first week I tried to teach off of somebody else's PowerPoint, and I realized that's just not how I work. So my lecture first week was probably way worse than it was in my subsequent weeks because I didn't really know PowerPoint, but this came for me in the last week. So, all right, that aside, Derek is boring PowerPoint Malzak. He's all we know forever in the department. What the hell is functional analysis? As we were saying, Megan, I think somebody brought up a group here, identifies the role a substance use plays in the person's life. We have to be really good detectives here after we've done all this assessment to kind of put the pieces together, see what role these things play. Because not everybody doesn't play the same role. So when you do a functional analysis too, one of the positive things about it, I think, from some of the other instruments that you might use and questions you might have to ask people when you first start working with them, is it takes a look at some of the areas where different treatment modalities won't really talk about. So we'll talk about, like, what are the good things you get out of getting high? What do you like about it? As somebody that hasn't been in an IBT program or done these analysis, whoa, nobody's ever asked me that. You know, they want to focus on, you know, the problems, right? Because that's where they see. But to really seek to know somebody, it's really good to kind of find out what they get out of using it. Because as I said, you might assume, oh, feel high, and that might be for a good amount of people, but it's not for everybody. And that's important information that, as we were saying last week during the assessment process, you may have a bias and think, I think I already know the answer to this, so I won't ask. Instead, that was the #1 error that clinicians make, right? Is they don't take a complete historical history of the person, daily to ask certain things that are important. So the positive consequences of using, and then conversely, the negative consequences of sobriety. Why is sobriety so freaking hard? You know? The goal is to find out the real question, the real answer to the question of why are you using, and what is interfering with healthier options that might be available. Clear? Okay. So I mentioned adjustment last week and how I felt like I wish I had spent a little more time looking into it. Adjustment, what is it? So I spent a lot of time thinking about my son. So I was like, all right, a well-adjusted child. Talk about here. So what does adjustment mean? It's somebody that can maximize their own benefit while at the same time maximizing other benefits, other people's benefits as well, and minimize the costs. So I think about my 3-year-old. Think of a pretty well-adjusted child. And other well-adjusted children are able to express themselves, maximize their own benefit, say, I need this, or, you know, this is great, or whatever it is they're trying to tell somebody, interacts well with others, sees their role as equal with other people that they interact with. So not only is the person kind of, what's the word? I was trying to have it and I lost it. Sort of, not complacent, but sort of, come back to me. able to maximize our own benefit, but not at the expense of other people. So somebody that can take part in the fun, but allow other people to take an equal part of the fun too, not kind of overstep their bounds, kind of cross over boundaries. You know, nobody's perfect, so people do misbehave, and that would be minimizing the costs. So the costs happen, but they're minimal in a well-adjusted person. And since we take a global look at adjustment, it's not a short-term measurement. One bad incident or one bad day isn't going to suddenly mean the person or the child, for example, is now maladjusted or no longer maladjusted. So think about adjustment when we consider substance use. Okay? Maximize own benefit while maximizing other benefits as well. So somebody that has a unhealthy relationship with a substance perhaps is going to put that substance ahead of other people. The costs may be heavy as in terms of sort of the side effect of using. I'm going to get benefit A, B, and C, but I'm also going to have these consequences that go along with it. Feeling crappy the next day. Yeah, costs. Or said something stupid to my mom last night, and now she's pissed at me, and now I got to fix that. Didn't maximize other people's benefits, wasn't kind of, you know, trying to work with others, and ended up costing. And again, it's a pattern of this, right? And substance abuse is probably going to lend itself going to lend itself to a repetition of this happening time and again. Yes,
It's fun, you know, this is somewhere.
okay. Thank you. Yes.
What happens if, like, let's say someone decides, all right, I want to be in recovery, and they completely not give up on their family, but estrange themselves from their family? That's making their family hurt, and that's a consequence of their family. But in order for that one person to get clean, I feel like they need secluded. I know that's not ideally how it should work, but let's say that's the measures they took. They're hurting their family, so it's not minimizing the cost. But
So
how would you say they're adjusted?
the person has been hurting in some kind of negative relationship due to substance use. Decides, I am now going to change. Right?
Yeah. Just like leave.
And so they remove themselves from the situation.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe their family doesn't care from that, but they really are getting clean, so they're helping themselves, but in turn hurting.
Well, I would think of it as this way: that person making the decision, conscious decision, I'm messed up, I need to go get help, I hurt people around me. For the sake of myself and for the sake of all these people, I'm going to get help. The person may need that time away from family or away from anybody to work on themselves. And doing that will actually, in the long run, improve their relationship. So I think in the short term, yeah, you're right. It might feel like the person is, cutting somebody out of their life. But if they're doing it with the intention of improving so that the relationship long term.
So they're still adjusting well.
Well, it seems like they're kind of undergoing a change. Somebody that has had a history of being poorly adjusted to now, something happened, there's been a life change, recovery is a big deal. They would have to have to see a new pattern of well-adjustedness to really kind of start to change. You gotta kind of rewrite that. One good incident looking around isn't going to be somebody well-adjusted in that history. That was a good question. So, functioning looks at the everyday factors, positive factors that a behavior serves to maximize, and negative factors that a behavior serves to minimize. So, trauma, and the behavior, associated with using substances is trying to minimize the factor of experience trauma, it's really painful, And then positive factors, talked about last week. Sociability, alcohol, being able to feel socially comfortable around other people. Not alcohol or some kind of substance we see serve to maximize. So, how do we change behaviors? So positive or negative? No.
I'm struggling.
No, that's not right. If the what?
Positive or negative consequences.
Yes, thank you. So if the consequence somehow can be altered, the behavior should change, right? Let's say I was always, every time alcohol helped, be more friendly and outgoing around other people in social situations. And if something happened and all of a sudden I couldn't do that anymore, like I no longer got that feeling, I might change my behavior. Now, unfortunately, a lot of times that changes for the worse, right? Oh, I used to drink a 6-pack and it would get me, buzzed enough to feel comfortable talking to, that pretty girl over there. But now, 6 beers isn't enough. Now I need to drink, 12 beers to get that same feeling. Other people don't factor into the role of the person's functioning. It's really themselves and their behavior, not the behaviors of others. Behaviors can be functional, but not promote good adjustment. Let's think back to adjustment. Long-term, maximizing their own benefits, also the benefits of others, minimizing costs. Behaviors can be functional, serve to maximize a positive factor, minimize a negative factor, but not promote good adjustment. Anyone think of an example how this might be? About trauma. Somebody's, yeah.
Are you talking about like a person who can go to work and function drunk?
Not exactly. I'm thinking about the person that the behavior is so it is minimizing some kind of bad behavior. Minimizing.
Sorry.
Negative factor that behavior seems to minimize. So I am, using a substance to forget about the trauma that I experienced. So that's a functional behavior. Like I'm doing it for a reason to minimize it, but it's not promoting good adjustment because long term that's not a good way to solve the problem, address the issue of trauma. So it worked for that person in the short term, but not at the expense of the long term recovery. This is some hard stuff to come.
What about the example of that you think like socialize and then like work dysfunction in that moment, whatever, and then but it's not a good adjustment. A good adjustment will be
Learning good social skills. Yeah. It's really kind of judging the value of short-term versus long-term benefits. Somebody that is in the throes of addiction or that is highly symptomatic of mental illness, this is especially to be able to say, you know what, let me stop doing this behavior that feels really good in the short term at the expense because I know it's going to help. People are too much money. They'll have too many things that they're trying to manage to be able to consciously make that decision and stick to it, especially when they're in environments that promote that. Yes?
Sometimes it's a person that don't see into the future. Like I want the money now. I don't want to breathe and let it flow.
It is.
Someone
That is a good way to summarize that, the short term over the long term. And this idea that somebody that has either condition, a mental illness or a substance abuse, is going to find this harder to be able to value the long term at the expense of the short term. And if they have both, it's going to be even harder.
Kind of great example.
I would love it.
Okay. I was living with a cocaine dealer, it was a mistake, and somebody showed up with a huge amount of cocaine, and she woke me up in the middle of the night, at the end of the month, saying, "Hey, you want some coke?" And I, of course, woke up and said yes. So she wanted to sell me an 8 ball for $350, $350, and it just so happened that my rent was due 2 days later. All the money I had was $350, and it was not even a thought. It was my money, despite the fact that rent was due. There was no thought,
Short term.
long-term thought. It was immediate, not immediate gratification, I suppose, but this unbelievable compulsion to have it now.
So if we go back to, if the positive or negative consequences can be altered, the behavior should change. So when you didn't have your rent that month, the natural consequence would be, somebody, let's say you didn't have the support, you lose your house. Oh, well, we may be able to change some behaviors now. Because now we've altered, this is why we talk about enabling behavior. Needing people to experience natural consequences, not continually rescue them. What ended up happening?
She let me pay her off.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, it's okay, I completely understand, and
Yeah.
I paid her when I had it.
Okay. So that was probably not the situation that changed that behavior.
Right, no,
Yeah.
not at all.
Whereas if it had turned out really poorly,
I
perhaps
was
it would have been this
really
moment that it was like, oh, I saw the light. It was the day that I decided to buy an 8-ball overpaying my rent because this bad thing happened as a result. But that didn't happen to Peg. She was like, pay me when you want.
So that person enabled her
Well,
without.
maybe not knowing.
No.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, she maybe had no clue. She's just like, she just.
She just missed it.
Like that.
Or maybe she completely knew. It's like, I understand.
Yeah, probably not. Probably.
No,
Did you tell her she knew, or you just said I don't have the money?
No, I said, this is the last money I have, and she just, this was.
No, not the person who sold you.
Your
Your landlord.
Landlord woman.
Oh, but then you paid her that.
No, I paid her for the 8-ball. That was my rent money, and I paid her for the 8-ball.
That's why she understood.
Yeah,
she
Look, I got women that was on the
Yeah.
carpet the next morning.
Now I
On the carpet. the next
So, okay, she's a user as well?
Oh my God.
Listen,
Well, that's
yeah,
smart.
all in the same.
Thank you for the illustrative story.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better one. All right. So a functional analysis. That's when we get into this bad boy over here. So when we want to systematically examine the positive and negative consequences of behavior, and it's, which should not be apostrophe. I wrote this PowerPoint a little quick. I apologize. Oh, I was an English major, so I'm so embarrassed. Treatment. So the functional analysis leads to treatment, or how to identify the factors that influence substance abuse, which leads to the interventions. So these are the things you're going to do, which modify the factors. All right. What time is it? 7:20.
7:12.
Okay, great. We got just enough time. Pick on someone. So, who wants to make a change? So, this works really well with substance abuse. It could work with any kind of change. We examined in the 4 quadrants the positives of using or continuing with the change, or the positives of not changing.
It is about drugs or anything.
It can be about anything, but I'd like to be about drugs.
Oh.
Anyone have a tobacco habit that they're in contemplation of? Oh, I saw you outside. I knew. It's like you had the miracle. Thank you. You'll have to start something. All right, so let me ask you this first. No, actually, no. Let me not ask it. We'll have to figure it out. So don't tell us what stage of change you're in. You know, so we don't know if Megan, wants to continue smoking cigarettes to the day she dies and has no care about her health, or she's going to give it up tomorrow, or she's given it up for the last 5 years and just started back up today. We don't know. Okay? So we don't know what your state is, but we can ask Megan, what are the positive effects you get out of using tobacco?
Curbed appetite. I probably be 50 pounds heavier.
Okay. else listen to it. You're like, oh, I can't wait to smoke a cigarette. I was a smoker.
Oh my god. Actually,
Stress.
guilty pleasure after eating. Like
Okay.
I have
Pleasure.
reduction of anxiety. I'm a big
Yeah.
driving smoker, but I hate driving so much.
Yep. Lowers anxiety. Not hungry. Makes you feel good. Social
I was gonna say
tool.
it's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Much nicer.
Right. There's like a camaraderie, isn't there? I feel that. It's like, oh, you're feeling yourself too. Let's talk.
I was on the booth not too long ago, and everybody on the smoking side of the phone was so much nicer than everybody that was
I had the same experience at a casino recently. I don't like to sell smoke, so we were gambling in the non-smoking, and it was like walking around. This is so fun. We walked over to the smoking section.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I'll deal with the smoke. I don't know where the party's at. Okay, so we got some good ones. I think anyone that's a former smoker, current smoker, can identify. But even if not, everybody's got that vice, right? All right. So, what are let's see, where should we go next? What are the positives of not using tobacco? What are the good things?
That's all.
Yep.
Better smell.
Better teeth.
Yeah, better teeth.
Breath.
Better relationship.
You don't have people feeling that, hey, you and that cigarette. Is that it?
My boyfriend,
Hates it?
he smokes
Uh-huh.
socially. He's not addicted. I am. And he's like, oh, this is gonna work.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about your self-esteem? You feel like,
Well, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I have heard it before, and I feel like, wow, I'm capable of doing it. And so, yeah, I feel confident, more confident once I achieve that.
but it felt good to quit in the past. Okay. Now, what are the negative factors associated with using? Keeping in mind, I know that they may be sort of mirror of what we just talked about. It's okay. So the negative consequences of using.
A lot of them are the same.
It's okay. Health problems.
Yeah. I'm just really stuck on that quadrant over there.
Okay.
Just very cool.
So, well, let's turn it around. So the negative consequences of using are
Lung cancer.
health problems, boyfriend annoyed at me.
Sorry, I'm not.
Feel bad.
Health fun.
I'm putting others
Bill?
in danger.
It may go, it could be, I'm thinking maybe not using it could be you have more money, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very
That's
good.
true. But Val pointed out we want to endangering others by.
Secondhand smoke.
All right. So where does secondhand smoke go?
That's negative.
Negative.
That's a negative.
Negative of using, right? Yeah. And then the one Bill talked about, saving money. So that's a positive of not using, right?
What is it called now? Like $8 a pack or
It's
something
crazy.
like that?
And it's also a negative of using, right? It's expensive. Ow.
Ooh, okay.
I got really into that. Yeah, it's expensive. Okay, last quadrant. What are the negative consequences of not using? Now hold up, this is important. This is where we'll probably potentially might start to see some of the role come out. You have a
Well,
question?
you not, I'm gonna say the negative consequences of it. You may use friends sometimes, like if you smoke with somebody else and then you don't smoke anywhere, you don't wanna be around that friend because.
The environment.
So the friendship may change. Okay. What about you, Megan? Negative consequences to not using. So if you stop smoking, the bad things are gonna happen. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm in some way attached to cigarettes. So yeah, well,
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
You know, if you get that
So a lot of times this is what happens, is you'll see the quadrants that are opposite one another will often kind of look similar, but not always, right? And that's why it's important that this is like sort of pro and con list 2.0, right? Pro and con list, why would it be good to quit smoking? Why would it be bad to quit smoking, right? This kind of takes it to the next level because there are things involved with, you know, the positives of not using, or the negatives of, or positives, positives not using, or negatives of not using, are kind of not always necessarily the opposite. Like we said, when you're secondhand smoke, well, it does kind of relate to the smell, but it does give you a kind of a more thorough picture of where it is. Okay.
And also see how it affects others.
Yeah, see how it affects others. So now, based on Megan's answers and what she's doing, where do you speculate she's at in her stage of change? You think she's in pre-contemplation? Anyone else? Contemplation.
I agree. She's smoking.
Because I know she's actually quit before, and
Before.
she said that she was proud of how capable she was of doing it. So I would think that she, in the back of her mind, wants to at some point get certified.
So not contemplation. Not pre-contemplation. Because there's some evidence in here, like you're saying, like I felt good to quit in the past. You know, I'm not hearing from these answers like, I'm gonna smoke the day I die. You're gonna tell me otherwise. I sense some contemplation in here, don't you guys? Like, yeah, I'd probably stop, or even maybe a little preparation. You know, maybe you started thinking about like, if I did quit, this is how I would do it this time. Not quite to action. What stage of treatment, Megan? Okay. She's not in active treatment, right? She's not in engagement. It's not like she ran out the door when we tried to ask her about this. So yeah, I agree. There's sort of in the pursuit of, yeah, I could be persuaded if the right motivation. Well, thank you for volunteering, talking about things that, you know, join. All right, let us take a 7-minute break.
Just enough hurt.
Persuasion.
That she was one who was outside.
No, I don't blame you. Healthy alternative. We have to develop healthy alternatives. So we will end this and pick up, run through the rest of this. 7 minutes. Yes.
Why is that hard?
Well, because 5, if I say 5, I can't say 10. I'm late. Maybe I'll say 6. Yeah.
How's it go? It has some problems, but I finally got it.
Okay.
I
Now,
You had the same problem that I had where it was like post got started. So it's on the recurring leads. Hey, Davika, we're just taking a break. I think we'll be back in 10 minutes. So glad you were able to finally get on. Sorry for the issues. So if you go to meetings, right? So you have it like this.
yeah.
You edit. So all I did was enable join before host.
Okay.
Right? And I also press start meeting. It doesn't do anything. It's not very, no feedback. You just press it.
Yeah. Okay.
I also gave her this, so I gotta find out if she connected with the number. That's how I connected. I think connected the
Yeah, I sent her a link to
Yeah.
my Zoom ID with the give me the copy.
Yeah, so we'll have to double check.
So,
Yes, if I were trying.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right.
So, all right, so you're.
We got two more
But I think,
things. One more like this,
regular
and then the
classes
fourth
on,
one's
what is it, Monday through Thursday? I could do like a Friday, 8 hour shift on a Friday project.
Yeah, and you.
read the what?
So, okay, we'll talk about it. So I'm gonna try to, so I have, I'm getting a new site for you to see, actually. So I actually got approval for that. And then there's always triple C.
So what's the question?
So I have a couple, and I think we have some.
I'm in the complex across from it that has the actual office in the triple C.
Yeah, so these are different, so it's like this, that's why I'm thinking about giving, I'm actually giving.
It's hard.
Yeah, he actually, so, actually the people, actually, you guys see.
Yeah, I mean,
He was able.
doing what you can.
He knows the
Of course.
Yeah,
Right.
he knows the people from. But, yeah, I'm very focused on.
Work.
Right.
I'm originally-
Okay, I just believe it, actually.
But I'm-
Those are all of the quizzes together.
Oh, okay.
Considering.
Yeah, when you said the triple C, I was like, oh, okay.
Or,
There's a the complex I'm in, across from it is an actual triple C office. It's in the building.
Yeah, so they're like, so anyway, so I'll keep that in mind. So also if you, if you can't do it, it's like, so we'll. Anyway.
next quiz. I don't know what the next quiz is. I think it's not gonna be for like 4 or 5 weeks.
We'll
The
find
midterm is gonna be
How many do you have here?
for the next quiz. Yeah.
So that's why it's like, is it?
Okay, yeah, no, I know, yeah, I have some.
Right.